Hey everyone, I wanted to take the time to record a personal video. It's been on my to do list for a long time, but from launching in February of this year, February 2024, and we're now August 9th, we've grown to 12,000 subscribers. And I wanted to say thank you so much for, being on this journey with me. I would say since I first recorded the video related to anxiety, and maybe I'll figure out how to link it. I have no idea. I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. But, anyways, when I first made that video about anxiety and how I overcame it, it's so funny how life just evolves because at that time I was just getting over my anxiety and I felt the urge to share the steps I took right away. But I wasn't working. I was not working at that time. I had quit my job probably like a month before I recorded that video. I think I recorded that video in November of last year. So at that time, I had just quit my job probably like 2 months prior. I wasn't working. I was still trying to figure out like what I wanted to do with my life. And I was kind of in a limbo land. I literally had no friends because, I don't know, I was going through changes last year and I was in this space where I was just by myself, but I felt the need to share my story and put my story out there to help other people. And then that's kind of how, connecting the dots grew because there was more people who I met over time who, were more than happy to share their story too. And so where I am today is a completely different space. And I think just being on this journey of starting this podcast, putting myself out there, recording these videos for you guys to see, and I hope they're super helpful to you. Um, it's been really fulfilling. It's been very healing as well. There's been several guests I've had on here that spoke about certain topics that I still had a sore thumb on in my life. And just hearing their stories was healing for me too. So I'm so happy I listened to that little inkling that said, start a podcast, do it. And there was a couple other people who I worked with who also told me to start a podcast too. And I'm so incredibly grateful. I'm so incredibly thankful, like how just doing this has changed my life. Um, where I was last year, I think I was trying so super hard to try to get my consulting firm off the ground. Well, I thought I was trying super hard to get my consulting firm off the ground. And things just weren't really working out. So I kind of put that to the side a little bit, focused on making this podcast and making sure that it looked nice and ran well, learning from my mistakes and just trying to put out high quality content. And then once I got a good handle on that, I revisited trying to grow my consulting firm. And, with also tying in my spiritual journey, it's like I had a lens over my eyes. I thought I knew so much prior to my spiritual transformation journey. I thought I knew a lot. There's a decent amount of things I have my expertise in. But as far as really starting a business, oh my gosh, yeah, there was so much I needed to learn, so much I needed to go through, so much, different situations I needed to put myself in, different people I needed to meet. Where I'm finally at the point of being able to scale and knowing what I need to do and being able to do it and, positioning myself in the right way. And so, I guess I say all this to say everything in your life is so interconnected. You really need to pay attention to that quiet voice on the inside. And if you want to change your life to the vision that you know that you have deep down inside, it may take radical movements, it may take radical decisions, it may take putting yourself in situations that you would never really normally do. But the reward is not even about the monetary gains. The level of clarity that I have, and I'm still continuing to have, there's so many levels to having clarity. But it started with tackling my fears, tackling any type of fears I had. And the number one fear I did have, especially when I first started, is what others thought of me. And so with starting a business, and especially starting a business in 2024, having a social media presence is basically a requirement. And because I made sure to focus on quality and keep trying to perfect my craft with the podcast, now it's been opening up more doors for me as far as who I'm meeting and who I'm able to have on my podcast and even have different conversations. I guess it's building, that sense of credibility, even though I always thought I was credible, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think of yourself sometimes. You may think you're the most credible person, but if you don't have the outward display of your credibility, sometimes it's harder for certain doors to open. And so and that just comes with the rules of the game, I guess you can say. If you want to start a business but don't like social media, I mean, you can still do it. It's just you may hit a particular limit with your reach. So I would definitely recommend put yourself in situations that you normally wouldn't do. Even one of it for me was to be a personal assistant to someone, literally for like $20 an hour. It really was not about the money, but I saw she was smart. I saw that she approached things differently than I did. And I was like, okay, let me do these personal assistant tasks for her just so that when we have conversations, I can learn from her. And even that has been game changing to me because before I used to just, okay, I have an idea, let me run with it, which is great to get things started. But if you really want to perfect your craft, you need to do some research, and research wasn't my strength. And now I'm noticing, or not noticing, but realizing the value of doing research and really research. You need to have the right balance of doing and research because things are constantly changing. And for you to make it to the top and stay on the top, you have to keep up with the trends and knowing how to react timely to the trends of whatever field you're in. And research is one of those skills I started to incorporate this year. And I've noticed a tremendous difference in my own personal growth, the growth of my business, my reach, how I'm managing myself and managing my business and everything like that. So those are some of the snippets that, I've learned over the past few months. I'm very excited to keep going. I'm very excited to see how things unfold, how things evolve. Um, and if you guys have any suggestions on more content that you'd like to see, or, I don't know, if you want to talk to me about something, please feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to help people. And overall, the goal of this podcast is to have a place with lots of helpful information for people going through similar situations or people looking to figure out how to change their life or people who currently feel like, hopeless. I want this space to be a place where you really find that inspiration and, really start to believe that, yes, things will get better. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I can persevere. Or maybe I need to pivot, and get the courage to pivot. But that's the overall goal that I have with this podcast. I just want all the information to be helpful, relatable, inspirational to people. And I really want you to know that you can change your life. It can be disruptive, but you can change your life. And so, yeah, that's all I have for today. And thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I don't know. This was like one of the first things that really kicked off for me, and it's been really encouraging and really satisfying. So thank you so much. And yeah, let's keep going.